You know, when you're looking for flavor in your life, there's a multitude of choices that we can make, or we're stuck with the choices we already made. And let's talk about flavor. Let's have a most delicious life together. And I wanted to talk about how you can go about doing that with what's called regulation of one's emotion. And you know, it's all about, self-regulation is all about our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. And being able to transform those from whatever we happen to be experiencing into that which creates well-being, joy, and pure happiness. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, yeah, but life's a struggle. There's so many things that I can't undo. There's so many things that have happened to me. I understand that. So many things have happened to me as well. You know, it's just not that we land in this idyllic life. We all have to deal with the emotions that we experience. So have you ever been angry? If you've just gotten so upset about somebody that just doing that, just pretending to do that, I triggered my amygdala. And my amygdala immediately shoved cortisol into my system. So how do I self-regulate anger? I just take a pause, taking a deep breath. And while I'm taking in that deep breath, I'm becoming mindful. And simply mindful simply means I'm paying attention to the present by not judging, by focusing on something that I can control, which is my breathing. And so I take deep breaths and I relax myself. This also strengthens the frontal lobes, which is where the decision-making opportunity has to be able to now shift from that anger into calmness and relaxation. You know, another element that I do is I recognize the power of sleep and diet. Now, we all sleep, we all diet, but we all have different opinions about it, about what type of diet and how much sleep. I want you to find out for yourself where you feel optimal. Now, if you've just finished 3 candy bars and had 4 shots of tequila, you may be feeling pretty good at that moment in time with all that blood and your sugar in your blood and the intoxicant that you've created. But the challenge is when it all wears off, how are you feeling then? And that's really the litmus test. Afterwards, how are we feeling? Because that's where we're living our lives. And now, in order to take that and make that a part of our life that we're living right now, requires us to pay attention to what we're putting on that fork and to how much sleep we're getting. Personally, I go for 9 hours of sleep an evening, and then I take an hour nap in the afternoon. Now, there's a great tennis player who's retired, and he shared with his audience in a documentary that I watched recently that he gets 10 hours of sleep a day and then takes a 2-hour nap. And he felt that that was his edge over his opposition because he was rested, he was alert, he was there and present, and he had the energy to sustain. Now, whatever your sleep patterns are, recognize before you fall asleep, take that deep breath and imagine wonderful things occurring in your life because now you're setting yourself up for your dream state. You want to make sure that you're utilizing that particular time, which I'll do another video on, to be able to set yourself up so that your dreams are rewarding, your dreams of processing and getting rid of the toxins that have been built up in the brain all day long. It's just a wonderful experience, and you don't want to shortcut it if you want to have a long-term happy experience in this thing called life. The other thing that I would recommend that you do is that you watch the conversations that you have with yourself. We tend to lean in a negative direction. That's the job of the amygdala to protect us. But what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, how do I choose to feel right now? What would I like to be doing in this moment in time? And when you do that, you give new direction to the brain. It was following the old direction, which was, will anybody be upset right now? But what you're doing is you're asking it to come up with new opportunities to inject a more higher version, a greater sense of who you are. And boy, does that make a difference in the lives that you touch. There's so much more information, and we've got that in store for you. So just go ahead and check the link out below. And I look forward to our next opportunity. We're going to talk more about that delicious life.